Are you thinking of buying or selling a home in Temecula? Then you're in the right place. I'm going to help guide you through every step. So today I want to provide y'all with some valuable tips that are going to help you whether you're trying to sell your home in Temecula or whether you're searching for your perfect dream home in Temecula. I've got 5 expert tips that are going to make your real estate journey in Temecula a breeze. So grab your cup of coffee and here we go. I want to help make it as smooth a transition as possible for y'all. So the first thing we're going to talk about is if you're a seller, you really want to prepare your home for that perfect sale. You want to prepare yourself as much as you can so that this is going to be a really successful sale for you. So the first thing, y'all know that first impressions are everything when a buyer is looking at a home. And if y'all prepare properly, it really can make the difference between a quick sale and a long, drawn-out process where you're going crazy by the time your home finally closes escrow. The first thing you want to do, you really need to declutter and depersonalize everything. So you want to make it so that when that buyer walks in the home, they can really picture themselves in the home. They can picture themselves living in that home. So you want to take down anything that's personal, like family pictures, take those down. You don't want a buyer paying attention to your pictures. You want them paying attention to the home. So make sure you're decluttering and get rid of anything really that is personal and just personal to you. If you just start by sorting and organizing your things, it helps make it a lot easier. You can make your piles, things that you don't really need right now. Maybe you have really big furniture. Go ahead and put those in storage so that it makes your home look much bigger and much more wide open. That's going to appeal to a larger variety of buyers. The next thing you want to think about is curb appeal. Like we said before, remember, first impressions are everything. So for buyers driving around the neighborhood, if they look at the front of your house and it's not appealing to them, chances are they may just drive right by and they're not even going to stop and take a look. If you have that curb appeal that is appealing to a wide variety of people, it's going to get more people in your home, so more people seeing it, so you have more opportunities for the sale. Even something as easy as freshening up the paint on the outside of the home, trimming your hedges and bushes, maybe planting some new flowers or having pots with flowers filled around the front of the house, all that is visually appealing, and so it will make it stand out when somebody is driving down the street. When a buyer sees that the front of the home is maintained and even the front door, that just kind of gives them a guide into what the inside of the home looks like. So if the front of the house is not painted, it's kind of drabby looking, then people start to feel that's exactly what the inside of the home looks like. So just freshen it up, make it as appealing as possible so that people will want to come in and see your home. You may want to think about staging. Sometimes it's worth it to pay a professional stager so that they come in and rearrange things. They have that visual eye, so they can see where things should be placed. Where when you're living in the home, sometimes you just put it exactly where you want it. You're not thinking about how it looks to other people. But when a stager comes in, they're looking at the whole thing. They want to make sure that everything is in the right place so that it really maximizes the flow of the home. And make sure you get professional photography, unless you are a professional photographer or your realtor is a professional photographer, which is chances they aren't. So you really do want to pay for that because the pictures are the first thing buyers see. Everybody's shopping on the internet now, so everybody looks at the pictures on the internet before they even come to look at the home. So the better quality of pictures, the more buyers are going to come to your home to see your home. And also, especially since COVID, a lot of people are doing the virtual tours now. That helps a buyer so that as they're looking at that virtual tour, they're actually walking through the home. They feel like they're walking through the home. And it makes it so that they're thinking, hey, I really like that. I want to go now. I want to actually be inside that home. I want to walk it and see what it feels like when I'm inside the home walking around. So remember, you want to declutter, depersonalize, stage it for the maximum flow, and invest in professional photography. These steps are really going to increase your marketability and attract a lot more potential buyers. So the next step is geared towards buyers. You want to talk about setting a realistic budget and financial planning. It's really important when you're going to start looking at homes that you have a realistic budget in mind, so that when you're looking at homes in Temecula, you're looking at homes that are in your price range that are going to fit you and your lifestyle. So make sure you're looking at your current financial situation. You want to look at your income, your debt obligations, and any expenses that you have. When you're thinking about creating that monthly budget, think about your mortgage payment, taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and even maintenance cost. It could be monthly maintenance cost, it could be yearly, it could be every 5 years. But make sure that that's a part of your budget, because that's going to help you when you're deciding what price of home you want to look at. Make sure you're saving for your down payment. So whether you have, a certain amount maybe that comes out of every single paycheck and is going into a separate savings account that is strictly geared towards your down payment. That makes it a little bit easier because you have it separated from your other savings. You also may want to talk to your lender about any down payment assistance programs. See if there are any down payment assistance programs that you can qualify for. The next thing, make sure you're getting that pre-approval from your lender. Super important that you're pre-approved, because you're going to need that anyways when you get ready to put in an offer. Most sellers are going to want to see a copy of that pre-approval so that they know that you are truly qualified to purchase the home. And like I've talked about in other videos, there are all kinds of loan programs out there. You've got FHA, you've got conventional, you have VA. So you have all kinds of options out there. Just make sure you're talking to your lender so that they can help you pick the one that's going to be the best for you. Just because your friend qualified for a certain program and it was great for them, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the right program for you. You also want to think about additional cost. It's not just the cost of purchasing the home. You need to think about the down payment, which we talked about. You need to think about closing costs. You need to think about the home inspection cost, appraisal fees. You also want to think about if there are any potential repairs that the seller's not going to make that you're going to need to pay for in the future, or any renovations that you want to make to the home. And it's really important to budget for those expenses so that you don't have such a financial strain when you're going through the whole home buying process. And the last thing you want to do is you want to plan for the future. Really think about what your long-term financial goals are when you're budgeting for your home. Think about the future plans, like, are you going to grow your family? Are you going to make a career change? And are you thinking you may want to resell it in, say, 5 years? So you want to think about what that potential financial growth is going to be from the time you purchase the home until you're ready to sell it. So remember, you want to think about your long-term financial goals. You want to think about your budget, your pre-approval, saving for any additional costs that may go in, your closing cost, any repairs that you may need to make, things like that. Remember to set those aside in your budget. And make sure you're working with a lender that you really trust and that you have the open communication with. Now, the third thing we're going to talk about goes for both sellers and buyers. You really need to understand the Temecula market. Every market is different, so you really need to know what's the market like in Temecula and how is it different? How is it different from San Diego if you're thinking about moving to San Diego? How is it different from Orange County if you're thinking about Orange County? Temecula really is in a league of its own, so it really is important that you understand the local market and that you work with a real estate professional that understands it too and can help guide you. So right now, today, in the Temecula market, some prices you're going to see they've got it listed at one price. Some of the prices they sell for higher and some sell for lower. It's kind of a mixed bag there. But the average home in Temecula, say it's between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet, it's got 3 or more bedrooms, 2 or more baths, it's going for about $750,000. So it's going for about $314 a square foot. Now that does vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, so make sure you're talking to your agent because it does matter the neighborhood you're in. Say Paloma del Sol. Paloma del Sol, the homes are a little bit smaller, lots are a little smaller on the inside of Paloma. When you're looking at the outside, you have a little bit of bigger homes there and bigger lots. And then you may go to Morgan, which the homes there are much larger and you're going to have a little bit more backyard. Maybe you want to look in Vintage Hills. Vintage Hills, the homes are a little bit older, built like in the late 90s, early 2000s. beautiful homes in there as well. It's all going to depend on your personal preference and which area you like the most and which one fits your budget. And it helps to know what kind of amenities you want in the neighborhood you're going to buy in. Do you want a neighborhood that has a community pool, or are you going to have a pool in your backyard so you really don't care if there's a community pool? Do you want a clubhouse so that if you have big parties, you can have everybody over to the clubhouse and they don't have to come to your house and get your house all messed up and you just have to clean the clubhouse, not clean your entire house? Think about things too. Do you want your home to be close to the schools? Do you want it close to parks? Do you want it close to the shopping centers? That all makes a difference when you're trying to choose the areas that you want to look at homes in. It can get really overwhelming if you're trying to look in all of Temecula. It can just get mind-boggling and you're like, this is too much, I can't handle this. So it will help you narrow down, and it will help your agent narrow down when they know exactly what kind of things you're looking for. And also think about commute time. If you have to commute to work, you want to make sure you may want to live on a certain side of town. If you're going to San Diego, maybe you want to live in South Temecula because it's a quicker jump to the freeway. If you're in North Temecula, maybe you're traveling to Riverside or you're going to go to Orange County or LA. That's a quicker jump to the freeway on that end of town. So really think about that commute time when you're trying to figure out the neighborhood as well. So just remember, you want to look into the current market. So what's going on in the market today in Temecula? You want to research neighborhoods, kind of know what the average home cost in each neighborhood, and then work with a local agent because they can keep you informed of all the changes in the market because it happens daily. Now the next point applies to both buyers and sellers, and it's navigating the offer and then just negotiating. Effective negotiating can really lead to more favorable outcomes and just a really smoother transaction all around. So when as the buyer, you're making the offer, like we talked about before, you want to research the market and you want to research that neighborhood to know what offers are going for in that particular neighborhood. Like I said, you can't really compare Morgan Hill to, say, Paloma because they're two very different neighborhoods, so it's really hard to compare the two. And before you make that offer, make sure you're really researching and you're doing your due diligence as a buyer. And as a seller, when you're reviewing the offer, the same thing goes. You really want to research that offer, really look into it and see everything. Look at all the contingencies that are in there and see everything that you're comfortable with. Both buyers and sellers really need to work closely with your realtor because you want to make sure that you stay on track for all the timelines. There are so many critical dates, so it's really important that you have somebody there that is guiding you and making sure that you stay on track. So just remember that the offer and negotiation is just a really critical part of the transaction. And professional guidance from a realtor is really invaluable to you as both a seller and a buyer. And the last point is just really using professional expertise and support. It is going to make it so much easier for you when you have someone that you really trust, that you can lean on, that's going to help guide you during this really it can be really stressful. It can be so exciting, but it can also be really stressful. So you want somebody that you really trust, that you're going to lean on, that you know is going to help guide you in the right direction. You want somebody that really does understand the local market and does understand the different neighborhoods throughout Temecula. You need somebody that's going to handle all that paperwork, and trust me, there is a lot of paperwork that goes into the transaction. So you want somebody that's going to help explain it to you so that you understand it, because you're going to be signing all this paperwork. So you need to make sure that you thoroughly understand what you're signing and that you're not just signing it just to sign it. You really do want to read it and understand it. And using a realtor can really help you make connections and just so that you know all the resources that are available out there. Most of us have like a vendor checklist, so we can help you. We can say, oh, here's 3 different people that install flooring. Here's 3 different plumbers that clients have used that have had good experiences with. That's really important, especially if you're new to Temecula as a buyer, or if it's your first time selling as a seller and you're not really sure who to turn to. You're thinking, I don't know, I need to get the kitchen sink fixed, but I have no clue where to start. talk to your realtor because they're probably going to have a list of people they can refer to you. Then you can pick the one that you feel most comfortable with. And lastly, with your realtor, you just get that guidance and emotional support that you're really going to need throughout the transaction. Trust me, you're going to want that person that you can lean on, that you trust, that you know is not going to guide you in the wrong direction. Thanks for joining me today on our real estate journey through Temecula. I hope that you found some of these expert tips informative and super helpful to you. Remember, buying and selling a home is not just a transaction, it is a major life-changing experience. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help guide you through every single step of the transaction. So if you have any questions or you need any further assistance, don't be shy. Leave me a comment below or just reach out to me directly. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button and share the video with anybody else that you think it may be helpful for. Maybe you have friends that are looking in the area, they're looking to buy or sell. Share the video with them. Maybe it will help them a little bit. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.